both of them discuss international trade. Okay, so when we talk about international trade, remember, this is what we're talking about is open economy. So we have domestic business, domestic household, and then they bring the third party, which is everybody other than your country globally. Okay, so in this chapter, we talk about the first model. Okay, we said, okay, so for any country, they have their advantage, which is absolute advantage, means they're doing things more efficient than other country. However, what we said is from this model is just because you are more productive or more efficient on this product does not mean you're going to produce everything you're going to have absolute advantage. Okay. In turn, what do you need to produce and what you need to purchase is based on comparative advantage, which means, okay, we have opportunity cost on produce something. Who gonna produce this product depends on who has the lowest opportunity cost. Okay, so in that case, that is one we discussed put in the US and Mexico. Okay, theoretically, we said, let's see, these two countries are the same size, have same amount of resource, okay? And we said use those same amount of resource, US can produce more vegetable, produce more beef. However, compared to Mexico, with same resource, produce maximum 20 vegetable, 10 beef. So both of them, Mexico are not good. They don't have absolute advantage. However, we said for US, when you produce beef, you're gonna give up vegetable and vice versa. Mexico doing same. So who gonna produce what? Depends on who has the lowest opportunity cost. So when we take a look, to produce one vegetable, US give up one beef. Mexico gave up half a beef. So Mexico have a lower opportunity cost on make the vegetable. So Mexico should focus on vegetable. And then in US, to produce one beef, give up one vegetable, but Mexico gave up two vegetables. So Mexico, well, US has lower opportunity cost on making beef because only gave up one vegetable. So in that case, what they need to focus is what they have lowest opportunity cost, okay? And when we figure out that, one country, US, focus on beef, and Mexico focus on vegetable, and then exchange. And we said the term of exchange is just between one beef, exchange one vegetable, and one beef, two vegetable, between two and one vegetable, okay? So when US sell 1.5 vegetable for the beef, is better than they produce. It cost him one vegetable. They sell Mexico to 1.5 vegetable, winning for US. For Mexico, if they buy the vegetable with buy the beef from US for 1.5 vegetable, you can see for Mexico cost him 2 vegetable, but if you buy from US, only cost 1.5 vegetable. So Mexico is also better off here. So again, from here, we find out with comparative advantage, each country produce what they have lowest opportunity cost. And when they do that, exchange what they do not produce, globally, everybody will be better off, have more output, more efficient, their PPC curve is all gonna move upward, okay? So, but this model has nothing to do with the currency, the price of beef and vegetable. So in that case, we're gonna bring price into the next model. Okay, so next model is supply and demand analysis, okay? So here is the principal rule, okay? So let's see, let me bring it to the smart board or the whiteboard. Okay, so let's say A island. Okay, so let's say A island, okay? If in A island selfish. All right, so A island, well, let's say the fish, okay? If you buy fish from your own country, it costs $2, okay? But everything outside, okay, outside. Okay, here I want to emphasize again. For this one, for this model, we did not, or we ignore the shipment, okay, which is the biggest part in international trade. However, to make the model simple, we assume there's zero shipping cost. Okay, so if you, as a person in a island, you want to eat fish, you buy from your own people, $2. You buy, but if you look outside, they sell fish for $1, then what happened? Remember, we assume everybody behaved based on their self-interest. So, which means if it's more expensive domestically, I'm gonna purchase from other country. I'm gonna buy. So that's what we call what? Import, right? Okay. So if world price is cheaper, you want to buy, you import, okay? In the other side, okay, if outside sell $10, you sell $2, then what happened? The people from outside said, oh, I'm gonna buy from you because it's cheaper, buy from you. And then that will be export, right? Okay, so if world price is more expensive than domestic, okay, everybody from other world want to buy from you, so you sell, so you export, okay? So, but when the world price is equal to the domestic price, okay, you fish costs $2, outside the world costs $2. Well, there's no need to do any international trade. Okay, so we find out price is a signal. You compare domestic price with outside price, and if outside is higher than you what? You sell. If outside price cheaper than you buy from outside. So here we kind of understand now we have a point. At $2, no trade. Greater than $2 outside world, you're gonna sell. Less than $2, you buy. So we actually have a demand and supply model here. Okay. So we have U.S. domestic aluminum market. Okay. In this market, we said we have domestic demand, we have domestic supply, we have domestic demand. Okay. And then when domestic demand equal to domestic supply, we find out domestic equilibrium price is $1, and then they're gonna sell 100. Okay, domestically. All right. So what if, okay, so we draw another one for is US export or import. You export means you sell. So sell will be supply. So export supply. Import means you buy. When you buy is demand. So it's downward sloping. So let's take a look. So domestically, if it's $1, let's look at our world. Okay, the world price is $1. No trade between US and outside world. But let's say if domestic is $1, outside is $1.25. Guess what? It's more expensive. So you want to sell. Okay, so in that case, if you draw the line, you can see. Let me move it here. Okay. So we have domestic demand and we have the domestic supply. And of course, I will find equilibrium price here. Okay. And $1. $1, no trade, okay? So now domestically, okay, outside world, let's just put, it's hard to write that. So let's use our own number. Okay, $2, okay. So outside sell $2, what's happened? Domestic $1, outside $2. Of course, I want to, outside the world want to buy it from you. So you want to export. So how much you can export? Let's look at the graph, okay? If that will be, let's use this color. Okay, $2, okay? Outside is $2. And then with this $2, what's happened? Well, when the prices goes up to $2, what happened is, hey, seller pretty happy. I want to sell more. But the buyer not happy. I can't get it for $1, now it's $2, so I want to buy less. So what happened? We have, this is called the surplus. Right, okay, before we said, okay, the equilibrium price is $1. Everybody like $1 domestically, okay? However, we introduced the outside world, now it's $2. More people want to sell, less people want to buy, we have surplus, okay? We said without international trade, that surplus really hurt the seller. So then they will shrink the quantity you supplied, and then this surplus will be shrinking because they have pressure to move the price down. However, now when we have international trade, that will be different story, because guess what? I cannot sell it to domestic. This surplus, I'm going to sell it to our world. Okay, so let's say before equilibrium is 100. Right now with the surplus, well, additional one sellers want to sell is 120. But with a higher price, the buyer don't want to buy. Buyer only want to buy 80. So now we have supply is 120 minus 80. Guess what? This part, they can sell it to the outside world. So at $2, I can sell it to outside world. So when I drag that, is the supply. Okay. Any question there? Yes?
No question.
Okay, all right. So here we said, okay, when price is $2, yes, we have surplus, but guess what? That 40 quantity of surplus, you can sell it to other countries. So now we draw the supply curve. Why is supply curve? At the $2, I want to sell for 40. Okay, as you can see, when price is higher, $3 of cost probably going to be more on to want to sell. So that is the supply, is export supply. Okay, I'm going to sell it to other country. All right, so let's look at the other side of the graph. Okay, on the bottom side, right now it's not $1, it's 50 cents. Okay, so domestically is $1, but outside world is 15 cents. Guess what? This is too cheap. Okay, let's say the domestic supply don't want to sell that much because it's too cheap, but domestic people want to buy. So we have, this is called shortage. Well, before we have international trade, the shortage is gonna push the price up. But with international trade, guess what? This shortage, domestic people cannot get it with domestic seller. This amount they can get from the outside, okay? So in my case, let's say at 15 cents, I don't know this, let's put it 460, okay? So this looks like 100, so 60, 100, let's say this is 60, okay? So in that case, I can draw this curve, said, okay, when the outside price dropped to 50 cents, then the domestic buyer have 60 shortage they want to buy from outside world. So that is demand because that is what they want to buy, but that is import demand. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, so by drawing that, we notice that the export supply and the import demand is start with domestic price equilibrium point, and when outside the world price greater than that, then I have impulse to sell it to outside world. If outside world price is lower, I have intent to buy from outside world, that is demand. Okay, so each country I can draw that. And then if I put two countries together, I will find these two countries who gonna buy, who gonna sell. So let's go back to the graph. Okay, so we have US, their aluminum is equilibrium price is $1, higher than $1, sell it outside. If the world price is lower than $1, then US want to buy from other countries. So let's look at the other country, Canada. Same token. Canada have domestic supply and the domestic demand, and equilibrium price is 75 cents. When it is 75 cents, then any world price, that means any people sell it higher than 75 cents, well, Canadian want to export. Any price in the world lower than 75 cents, Canadian want to buy it. So we draw a demand and the supply curve. Oh, export supply and import demand for Canada. Okay, so I put those countries together. Okay, this is US export and demand, export and import, and this is Canada export and import. When I put them together, okay, US greater than $1 sell, lower than $1 buy, Canada higher than 75 cents sell and lower than 75 buy. So these two, they put these two graphs together, then we find here, because when price is between 88 cents, between $1 and 75 cents, US definitely gonna want to buy from Canada, and Canada gonna sell it to US. And what is equilibrium price? 88, and then we find equilibrium quantity. All right, any question? No, yes? Am I going too
No
fast?
question. No.
Okay, so in your assignment, you actually don't have to do this. Okay, I'm gonna give you an easy way to figure it out. Okay, so I'm just randomly draw two country, no matter who. Okay, we have two country. Okay, okay, now I light the street. So let me try. All right, perfect. This looks good. All right, so I'm gonna draw two countries, demand and supply. Okay, another country. The reason I draw this way, so I want to make sure their equilibrium price is different. Uh-oh, I should leave the third one here, but that's okay. All right, let me erase that. Okay, all right, so I have country A, I have country B, okay, whatever they produce, there's a demand and supply. And let's say Apple. Okay. And the country B have their demand and supply curve. All right, we find equilibrium on both parties. Let's take a look. The equilibrium point for A is this one. Okay, I'm gonna put a number here. Let's say $10. Okay, how about the country B? Oh. Okay, so country B, let's say $5. Okay, so for country A, if it's higher than $10, I'm going to, if this is outside. Okay, let me not say outside, make it word. Okay. All right. So in that case, let's say for A country, its price is pretty high. Okay. If world price is higher than $10, they sell. However, if world price is lower than $10, they're gonna need to buy. Okay. All right. Okay. For B country, his equilibrium point is $5. Okay. For B country, if the world price is higher than $5, they sell $5. World price higher than $5, I want to sell, okay? But when world price is lower than $5, I want to buy. So in that case, we already see, we find the equilibrium point for both countries, right? Okay, so, but you seriously, without draw the graph, you already know, okay? A country sell domestic $10, B country $5. Who gonna buy, who gonna sell? A definitely gonna buy from B, okay? B gonna sell A. So for B country, definitely gonna be export, and A country definitely gonna be import. So, but how many they're gonna export and import quantity, you find from the equilibrium point, and the price you find the equilibrium point. Okay, all right, any question? Can I move to next one?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this one, we actually introduce the price. Okay, so price-wise, if you sell something cheaper than the world, you provide to the world. If you sell something more expensive than world gonna dump it to you. All right, so let's go back to the third one. Okay, so in this case, we notice, all right, the first model we're discussing, who is going to produce what? Second model we discussed, okay, price-wise, how to find the equilibrium price, how to find the equilibrium quantity, okay? But remember, if there's only two countries in this world, your import demand must be equal to export supply. They have to be equalized, okay? If you sell 2 fish to your neighbors, your neighbor must buy 2 fish from you. So the S to be equal to 2. All right. So the third part we're going to discuss in this chapter is talk about, hey, yes, the first two model we talk about the international trade is pretty cool. However, we said due to the political reason and also safety security reason, we do have trade barrier. Okay, so which means country purposely, or the government for the country purposely put a certain way to block the international trade. So the first one is tax, okay? That is called a tariff, okay? So this tariff, no matter this tariff, they try to get to in charge this tariff to get the revenue or you use this tariff to protect domestic industry, it basically just add additional tax on the things you had to buy from other country. So that is called excise tax. So let's take a look. So let's say, okay, I believe we talked about a little bit. I touched the base. So let's actually take a look. Okay, so there's an international trade war between China and the US. Okay, so let's say China sell US pencil. Okay, before this pencil is $1. Okay, so they sell it to US. Let's say Walmart purchases for $1. Okay, and then they sell you maybe $1.50, and 50 cents is their profit margin. Okay, so in that case, US government said, well, no, I'm gonna need to add a tariff here. Tax, okay? So if US sell the pencil $1, and if you import that pencil from China, you have to pay tax. That tax is $2. Okay? And that $2 tax, okay, you find out, well, $1 plus $2 is $3. At least they need to sell it for $3. But now for the Walmart in US, let's say they buy pencil from China is $1 before. But if you buy pencil made it from US, maybe it costs $2 because US labor cost is more expensive. So in Walmart, of course, they're gonna buy it from China. But right now, when I take a look, okay, I buy it from China is $3, then that makes sense. That makes no sense for me to import from China. So I'm gonna sell US pencil made of US. Okay, so this tariff does protect the domestic industry, okay, because they automatically wiped off the world competition for you, okay? So this tariff, usually the government gonna use this to protect the baby business, okay? What do I mean? Let's say if this industry is a new industry, it's the time they try to grow. Remember, in the previous chapter, we said, if you just start the business, your average total cost curve, remember? Okay, your average total cost curve is this way. Okay, so at the beginning, your cost is too high. With this cost, you cannot compete with the world. There's no way you can compete with the world. But then the government gonna charge the tax on the top. Then you can have some way to compete with the world until you produce more and more, you lower the cost. And now you are in the lower opportunity of lower long run average total cost. And then government can remove the tariff because at this time your cost is low enough, you can use this product to compete in the world. Any question?
No.
Okay, so this is a political reason. It's reasonable to put the tax on certain industry to protect them, to let them have space to grow before they crashed by the world competition. And also for this one, you do need to recognize this tax does provide a nice revenue for the government. So let's take a look at the third model we're going to discuss. Okay. I'm gonna just still use my whiteboard because it's easier for me to put this way. All right, so let's look at international trade from where it is. Okay, this is, okay, why it kept changing color? Let me change, okay. Okay, let's just use our demand and supply model, okay? So again, you see, in the first three chapters, we discussed demand and supply model, and we use it all along until the last part of this class. Okay, so in that case, we have domestic demand and domestic supply. Okay, so that is domestic price. Okay, let's just give it a number, $10. Okay, so right now what happened is, let's say this is pencil. Well, that's too expensive. Let's say, what is $10? let's just put it, remote control, okay? Remote control is $10. Okay, so, but if you go to, say, word price is $5. Guess what? If word price is $5, you have this nice error of the shortage because domestic supply don't want to sell for $5, but domestic buyer want to buy more $5. So this nice gap will be filled with international trade, okay? So international trade, they want to buy this amount, okay? But the government coming and said, well, we want to protect domestic remote industry. So I'm gonna charge, let's say $5, no, $2 tax. Okay, add additional $2 tax. Guess what? If they add $2 tax, domestic buyer will not gonna buy $5. They're gonna buy at $7. Okay, which is $5 import plus $2 tax. And when they raise the price, you'll find out right now, domestic buyer want to buy less from outside world, and domestic seller, they want to sell more from here to here. So in that case, they does help domestic sellers, okay? And also, this nice error is how many they're gonna import. Compared to black one, you import less. And this is how many you want to import, and this is the price for $2 they're gonna charge the tax. So this shade is the tax revenue. Yes? Okay, so let's take it back here. Okay, so this is word price. Before, this is how many you're gonna buy. Right now, increase the tax is how many you want to buy. And this tax times this square is tax times $2 the tax you charged. So this nice error is the revenue. Okay, so in that case, we look at this graph, we find okay. So with this import tariff, okay, it does protect the domestic supplier. Now they can sell more and they provide a nice revenue. Okay, can I move to next one?
Yes.
Okay, so by looking at graph, okay, several things. Decline consumption, increased mass production, decline in import, and provide revenue, which is just what you read from this graph. Okay, what happened? This decrease, quantity supply increase, quantity demand decrease, the import changing from here to here, and then this error is revenue. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this class, if you can draw the graph, then you can read a lot of things from this graph. Okay, so let's take a look at the other kind of way to block the entry. The second most important one is called import quota. Okay, they set the limit. Okay, so let's say they want to protect the domestic pencil. They don't, pencil maker, they don't raise $2 on that. What they do is they said, okay, maximum, there's only 10 pencil you can import from other country. Well, in that case, you limit it, and then more than 10, you cannot buy from other country. So because every time if you purchase things from other country, they need to pass the customer and they need to track the quota. So in that case, if you more than the limit, you cannot buy it. The limit does not only apply to quantity. For example, they also apply for the total value. For example, if US want to protect domestic car industry, what they can do, they said, okay, maximum, there's only $2 billion you can import from Japan, no matter it's Toyota, Camry, whatever. Okay, so Toyota or what is the other brand in Japan? So they don't put how many car you can import. They put the total value of the car you can import. So both of them is a pretty good way to, or popular way to put the trade barrier. And we also have others. For example, non-tariff barrier. You have to get certain lessons to import certain things, especially let's say US right now, if forbidden Chinese business or government purchase certain high sensitive tax things. Okay. If you want to purchase it, you have to have a license, which is hard to get. Okay, so that's no trade barrier. Okay, we also have others. Okay, that is also popular or they can be used. You can read from book. It's pretty straightforward. So in that case, the last part of this class, this chapter, we talk about the trade barrier, but we take some time to talk about the first one. We show you the model. And the last part on this class, this chapter is we are going to talk about the protection. Okay, so why we do have some protection, they have to put a trade barrier in certain product. Okay, military. Okay, you had to be able to make your own aircraft without import from other country, because if the war start, that will be problem. Okay, diversification of stability is just like don't put all eggs in one basket. For example, in the country Vietnam, most of their GDP is from tourism, and when COVID come, it hit their GDP big. So for the country, who better to make sure there all kind of industry will thrive in certain type, so it's not going to be hit by certain event a lot. Protect infant industry, we talk about that. Okay, so those is pretty valid reason to put the trade barrier to protect the domestic industry. Okay, all right. The last part for this class, they discussed very popular trade agreement. For example, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, World Trade Organization, Euro, EU, North American Free Trade Agreement. You need to know those trade agreement, know what they mean and know their name, but that is in your textbook, so I'm not going to spend the time to read it. All right, so that is all for today's class.